The best tool for cutting rope. Hello everybody, welcome back, and don't all leap all over me and say the best tool for cutting rope is a knife, because yes, first of all I am going to show you my knives and I'll show you why I like them, why I dislike them. And so let's start with the left hand knife here. It is an Opinel, and to be honest it's very cheap, but boy, it's a very nice knife. It is sharp as sharp can be. These things just sharpen up so wonderfully. And it's you can lock it as well. That's the beauty of it. It's now open, and then just by moving this collar I can actually lock it and it becomes a safe knife, or a safe knife that you can get. I still can cut myself with these even though I do take care. But yes, as a knife, a very beautiful knife. And the other thing I like, it is sharp from the very point to the little butt end there, or I'm sure someone's going to tell me what the name of that piece is. But it's great for getting into intricate stuff and cutting it. Does a beautiful job, but does not do what I want it to do, which you will see shortly. So that's the Opinel. Oh, and the other wonderful thing about the Opinel knife is you have got a plain canvas here. If you go online and do a search for Opinel customization or Opinel modifications, you will see some classic pieces of work that you can actually do with this by reshaping it, carving it, etc. So a lovely little knife that you can personalize as well. So the next knife we get onto is, this is my baby. This is the knife I love the most, and it is the, I forgot the name, Meyer Chin. It's the Meyer Chin seaman's knife. I believe it's the captain of all of them, and it's a folder. And those who are seamanship-like and don't like folding knives, they also do fixed blades. But the beauty of this one is, yes, it's got a marlin spike on it, which I use probably more often than the actual knife itself. And then if we go on to the knife, it's a beautiful knife. You can actually get your finger right up close to the actual edge of the knife by the use of this. Someone's going to tell me the name of that as well. But the other thing about this knife is that seamen will like, it's actually got here a shackle key so that you can place this over the top of the shackle and acts like a bit of a spanner to undo shackles. So that's the Meyer Chin. The other thing is also, if you own a Meyer Chin, this piece is for rope only. Don't go sticking it into the eyepiece of a shackle to undo it, because you will damage this, and a damaged marlin spike is pretty much next to useless if you want to do rope work. It just catches and burrs, you know what I mean. But yes, a beautiful knife, but why is it not my everyday knife? And I'll tell you, for one simple reason. It's a safety feature on this knife that makes it a lot safer, but I live in the UK, and because this knife locks, it makes it illegal to carry in the UK. So because it locks, it's illegal to carry in the UK. So then I decided what I wanted. I wanted a fairly hefty knife, and I wanted one that's legal to carry. And so therefore I have not been arrested yet, so I don't know whether the advertising for this knife is true or not, but this is the Lansky world legal knife. I'm not sure how they can claim it's world legal, because I'm sure in some countries just having a knife might be illegal. But anyway, but this is classed as a world legal knife, and it's a rather nice hefty little knife to use. But this is something I don't understand. These marketing boys, these clever people, or so-called clever people, they've sold me a world legal knife, yet if I look at the small print on here, it says urban tactical. Why on earth would you sell something with urban tactical on it and then try and sell it off as a world legal knife? Ditch the word tactical, you don't need it, just put all purpose. I don't care, I just wanted a really hefty knife to use. And to be honest, this is my everyday carry knife, but one little feature that is a problem for me if we look at the shape of that blade, it curves inwards there slightly. So if I'm trying to cut through cordage, I have to remember to use that piece to there. So from there to there, and that piece for actually cutting cordage onto on a cutting board or something like that is pretty useless because it's not flat. It's not a nice square to the board, if you see what I mean. There is a little bit of an arch in it. So anyway, so those are the 3 knives that I use, and you would have thought with 3 knives I don't have a problem in cutting things. I don't have a problem in cutting things. I can cut through the thickest of ropes, but what I do have problems with, and probably you can see here, is that this is one that I've cut with a knife, and if I actually turn this, you can see that, let's get a pointer here, you can see that where I have actually cut it, it's not square to the rope itself. The left hand side is higher, and we've got a little bit of a slope or an angle going down to the right hand side. So probably I have cut it that way, and gradually as I've been cutting through it, my knife has been slipping slightly away from the actual main cord itself. And so you think to yourself, does that matter? And to be honest, no, I don't think it matters too much. This is one that's been cut, but as I turn this is a decorative piece that I did once. It annoys me that the very top here is not square. And as a decorative knotter, that is important. And so once again, you can see here, on this one here, it's higher, excuse me, it's higher on the right hand side than on the left hand side. I'm not sure if that's any good, but anyway, yeah. So you can see there is a taper going down from top right to bottom left. Very slight, but enough to annoy me. And then we've got some larger cordage here that I've done it with, and you can see once again here, it's just not quite square. If you're trying to make something look good and decorative, you want to finish it off good and decorative as well. And here's another example. It's just goes from the top right down to the bottom left, so it's sloping that way. And so that's something that is a bit of a problem for me. It's not a problem if you just want to cut a piece of rope. You can grab any one of your sharp knives, providing you keep them nice and sharp, you can cut through it. So I'm just going to go and get a package that's just been delivered to me, and let's open it and see if this is any good to solving that problem. Right, so here you are. Look at us. We're looking at a plain brown box. Right, yeah, last time we looked at a plain brown box, there's only rope inside. Let's see what we've got in this size. Oh, look, we also see where it's from. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is open it and let's see. I know exactly what I've ordered, but sometimes do you think maybe they put a dot at this end to tell you to start at that end instead of that end? Anyway, let's see if it works this way. Right, open. There we go. Okay, there we go. Opened up, and here we have it. Yep, that's what I ordered. And so, what have I ordered here? Well, I've actually ordered myself a Mega Cut Wolfcraft. Oh, it's something else. Oh, no, it's not. Wolfcraft Extra Power, and it's a cutter. Now, I have been told by seasoned knotters, that's better than calling them old, isn't it? Seasoned knotters, especially Ken Yolden, who is a very experienced knotter. He's been knotting for 1,000 years, did it in the Navy, and then carried on now and still does knotting, and he swears by using one of these. And so what is one of these? Well, it's an all-purpose cutter, which we're now going to break our way into. Blimey. They've made it child-proof. Okay. Pause the film whilst I break it open. You don't know how long I put you on pause from. That was quite a struggle to get inside this. But anyway, inside this is my, let's read the label again, is my Mega Cut Wolfcraft Extra Power Cutter. And the beautiful thing about this, from what I understand, is that first of all, you get it comes with one replacement blade here, and for those of you who recognise it, it seems to come with a sort of fairly standard looking, I know them as Stanley blades, you probably know them as something else, and I do know for a fact is that these blades are very sharp, okay, sharp as sharp can be. And so just looking at this tool, it's obviously got a lock position on it here, and then I can just unlock it. Don't know how to unlock it. Move the lever backwards to unlock it, and you can see here now I've got myself, it already comes with a blade inserted into it. I'm not sure what that yellow bit is there, probably to stop you trapping your fingers in there, but I have now got myself a very, very sharp scissor action cutter. So what we're going to do now is actually test this little beastie. So what I've done is I've prepared some bits of cordage, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I have wrapped myself, okay, not easy to see, why did I use white on white, but just at that point there I have put myself some masking tape, just wrapped it round very tightly, and so what I'm going to do is give it a test run. And I've never used one of these before, but let's see how it goes. In fact, I'm going to hold it up to the light just to see how much gap there is. I want to see how much gap there is between the actual anvil and the cutting blade itself. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to place that over my cordage in the middle-ish, like so. I'm just going to line it up, make sure that it's square, and then let's see if it actually cuts it square. Okay, and maybe that was me, maybe the blade needs adjusting, I don't know, but on first go I could have cut it better with a knife. So let me just look at how much light is coming through that, and I can see that there is a little bit of light coming through where the blade actually touches the anvil. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and see if I can actually adjust that. So anyway, you're back on pause again. Okay, so here I am back again. So it looks like you can adjust the blade a little bit. When I hold it closed up to the light, I can just see a faint flash of light coming through, and so what I've done is I've undone those 3 screws there, which then allow me just to jiggle the blade a little bit and move it into a different position. Not much movement, but a little bit. So anyway, so what I've done is also whilst I was away, I got myself a piece of paracord, and so let's just, we'd probably never use this on paracord, but because paracord, its properties are that it is a little bit squishy, let's just see how it handles a little bit of paracord. So I'm going to feed a bit of paracord into here. Whoa, snip, look at that square. You can't see it. You can't see it, but that is as square as they come. So actually adjusting the blade has put it in nice and square into the right position. So anyway, from paracord, let's go on and do something else. I've got myself a piece of white cordage here, and on the end of that cordage I've got myself a little bit of masking tape. So let's go and cut a piece of that off. So just make sure it's nicely square, because I do like my ends to be nice and square. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. And that has now cut it beautifully square. You can't see that, but I'm telling you, that is cut nice and square. So it now leads us on to let's do some bigger rope or cordage. And so here's another one I've got. Oh, that end's not wrapped very tightly. So what I'm going to do is put a bit more masking tape further down. If I can actually find the masking tape. There's my masking tape. So what I'm going to do is just wrap a bit of masking tape further down and just roll it around so that it's really, really tight. So go really, really tight with that. Roll it round a couple of times. Snip off the excess, because you want a tight surface. Really, you want a tight surface to push against. And so now I'm going to put this into my cutter. That sounded quite solid. And there we go. We've got a beautiful, clean, square cut on that. It's hard to show you when I'm rolling it in my fingers that it's square, but certainly when I look at the end now I've got a really nice clean square cut. So we then get on to even bigger pieces of, let's put another piece of tape around this one. So once again, roll it around so that it pulls up. That's the idea, is you want it pulling up nice and tight so that you've got a hard surface to push against. So that's fairly tight on there. I can't even rip masking tape, I'm so weak these days, but there we go. I've put some masking tape around there. I'm going to square it up so it's nice and level, and then let's see what happens when I cut this. Now, one thing I did just see is my masking tape split and therefore allowed all the fibres to spread. So obviously I did it wrong with that particular cut. So let's actually try and mask this up properly. See, 6 P's, Johnny. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. So let's just pull this up nice and tight. Let's get a fair bit around it because we want it as tight as possible around our rope so it doesn't squish and move out of place. And to be honest, this is rather horrible synthetic rope. I know it's horrible. I can feel it. It's wiggly wobbly. I've tried working with it, and to be honest, as a piece of rope for decorative knot work, it is fairly useless. So once again, go for a cut. And it took a couple of squeezes, but what I can say is that that has come out nice and square on my cordage there. And so let's see. Got another piece of rope. No, let's not use that one. Let's use this one. So as you can see here, this is one. Yeah, look, that is one I cut with a knife. Okay, this was just for a demo once I did in a video, but you can see where I cut it with a knife, I ended up going from bottom left to top right at a bit of an angle. And so once again, I've put myself some nice masking tape at this point here, and what I'm going to do is just cut through that and try and get it as square. Make sure it's as square as I'd like it. Nice and square. Feel it cutting through, and then twist. Yeah, it does a job. Look at that. It's nice and square. It's flat. There is no bit sticking out of it or anything like that. It has cut it very well. So to be honest, as a product so far, this is my go-to tool now for cutting rope, but not just for cutting rope because I want to cut rope. These knives all do the job. Let's clear this table a bit. These knives all do the job, but what they don't do, or I'm not very skilled at doing, is cutting myself a square piece of cordage so that it's square at the end. It looks good. It wants to be presentable. That, although frayed, is not in my eyes presentable because we have a slope from top right to bottom left. You can see that distinct slope on there, and I hate that when it comes to doing decorative work. Well, I've got another piece of rope here. Let's have a look. This one's even heftier. This is some hefty braided, or probably double braided, I don't know what the term is in these modern days, but I have now once again masked over the end of this one, put my cutting knife onto it, my Mega Cut Wolfcraft Extra Power, I don't know. But what I will do is, if you're watching this, there will be links in the description below as to how you can get this, especially if you're in the USA or UK. I can easily put links up for you. If you're in other countries, you're going to have to go searching. But so now I've done that, I then get my rope in there and squeeze. And it is a squishy rope. Boy, I can hear it going. And it is actually struggling. I don't believe it. With this rope, I am struggling. So, I'm not sure what this is obviously some form of climbing rope, and it goes to show that this rope is obviously a damn good rope, but I've not got a clue what this rope is. It's just a scrap piece I had kicking around, and I've managed to cut halfway through it before I ended up with so much friction. Let's see if I can do a bit more. It's going, I'm having to twist it as I do it, and I've twisted it, I've cut it, and it's square, but it's not the greatest result, simply because I couldn't do it in one simple action. So yeah, so as a tool for my general use, this is absolutely fantastic, and I will be using this all the time, especially if I'm doing sort of decorative work where I'm putting colourful or nice splices. It's not splices, whipping on the top. There's different whipping there. There's another one with a bit of snaking on, and you can see that if I've got a nice square top to it, it will make my work look just that little bit better. So anyway, if you're interested in this particular product, yep, I'll put a link in the description below. Personally, I like it. Even though it didn't do that last thick rope, for the work that I'm doing, this sort of cordage and down, it seems to be perfect. So that is my little test run with the Wolfcraft Mega Cut. That's what it says on the box. So anyway, once again, thanks very much for watching. If you liked it, if you hated it, and you're probably going to hate this one because it's I don't know what you get from it other than me testing a tool, but as a tool itself, I quite like it. 8 out of 10 is my opinion on that one. So anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and see you again next time. Bye bye.